Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to update my year of usage project plan. This is a project that was created by Kathrine. I will have her link down below, and it's a super fun project. I have really been enjoying this one. It's definitely one that is made for you if you just want to reach for your collection kind of on your own term. You can reach for whatever you want really, but ultimately you do have a goal of reaching a certain usage goal on all your eyeshadows. The way I'm structuring this one is that I am specifically looking at my single shadows in this project, just because I do have quite a few eyeshadows in my collection. I think I have almost 1,300, 1,200, maybe 1,200, I think, something like that. But I have a lot of eyeshadows in my collection, and I still have a lot of singles. I think I have just over 600. I can tell you later because it's on my list. But I do still have a lot of single eyeshadows, but kind of focusing on those makes it a little bit more manageable. So if you are unfamiliar with this project, the goal is to reach for the shadows the same amount of time as the year you're in, and that is not 2025 times. That would be insane. But that is just 25 uses for 2025. And how I do it is I count any usage I tracked last year into this year too. So I do have a spreadsheet. I started tracking all my eyeshadows last year, so those uses are also calculated into this year's numbers, just because, you know, the eyeshadows that I did use last year, I feel like I should have a little bit of a head start on. And it kind of also follows the lines of this project, because whatever you have not hit your 25 use goal on by the end of this year rolls over to next year, and again the uses also rolls over at that time. And the new goal, of course, is then to reach for the shadows 26 times instead of 25, because we are then going to be in 2026. So that is the main kind of gist of the project. In this project, how I updated it is I covered the shadows that I have hit my 25 use goal on, as well as talk about my focus 15, which are 15 eyeshadows that I specifically want to try to reach for more in the upcoming month. So I am going to jump into that bit, but before I do that, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So it's been quite a while since I updated you last, because I skipped last month's update due to me having a baby. I have mentioned that before in other videos, so I'm not going to rant on about that for longer, but I'm going to cover the numbers for both June and July, because again I haven't updated them since that point. So in June I hit goal on one eyeshadow, so I only hit my 25 use goal on one shadow, which again is not surprising. I have been wearing makeup less than I normally do, so just one eyeshadow is fine for me. And I do have, spoiler alert, a little bit better numbers in July, which I am pleased with. And a lot of the work that I did for July numbers I did throughout June as well. I just didn't quite hit the 25 uses in June. But the shadow that I hit my 25 use goal on is this one right here, which actually comes from my Panda palette. This is the shadow Champs from Colourpop. It's originally from the Sweet Talk palette. And again, like I said, it is in my Panda palette, so I'm using it quite a lot, but I did hit that 25 use threshold in the month of June. And again, that is the only shadow that I hit my usage goal on at that point. And at the end of June, I had hit my 25 uses on 21 shadows so far this year out of my 638 singles, which means I was sitting at 3.29%. So that is a quick recap of June. I will of course talk you through my focus 15 as well, but they've been the same for June and July, so I'm going to cover that after July's numbers. So quickly moving on to July. In July I do have a couple more shadows. The first one I actually don't have anymore, and that is this shadow right here, or it was this shadow right here. This was the shade Prima Drama from Colourpop. This was also in my Panda palette. It was a pressed glitter, and I did hit my 25 use threshold on this one, but I finished it up quite rapidly after that point. So it was again a shadow that I was trying to finish, and I have now done so, which is super exciting. And I think it only took me like 2 or 3 uses longer than a 25 to finish it up, so very excited for that. But this is also something that I hit my usage goal on, and I'm going to include in that for now. Of course the numbers will kind of decrease because I have that finished, so I guess my singles will go down from 638 to 637, but I think I will start counting that from August numbers. But yeah, that is the next one. Then we do have another one from my Panda palette, and that is the shadow from Glam Shop. It is called Vegas Biz. It is a beautiful kind of blue brown type of shadow. You can see the blue now, but it has a brown base, and it also has like a pink shift to it too. It's beautiful, and I really do like it. It's more of a autumnal shade to me, but I have been able to incorporate it into a couple looks here and there throughout summer too. which meant that I was able to hit that 25 use goal on this one. So that is shadow number 2 for July. Then the last shadow that I hit my usage goal on in July is actually this shadow right here, which I'm currently wearing on my nails. So that is the last uses that I needed for my 25 uses. You can see what it looks like right there. It makes a beautiful nail polish color, and I'm happy that I was able to reach for this one the 25 times. So that was the third eyeshadow that I managed to hit my goal on in the month of July. And it was also the final shadow that I hit the goal on. So that is 3 shadows, which gives me a total of 4 added since the last update that I filmed. And looking at that, that means that we currently have 24 eyeshadows that I hit my goal on out of my 638, and that gives us a percentage of 3.76. So not quite 4%, but we are increasing slowly but surely, which I'm happy to see. It's definitely increasing slower than I expected when I first started this project, but ultimately this is just a way to use the eyeshadows more, which I am super happy that I'm doing. And you know, maybe I can reach 10% by the end of the year. That would be amazing, but we'll see how I get on. So that is everything for kind of the shadows that I hit my goal on. The last thing to do in this video is of course to talk you through my Focus 15, so let me pull out that palette. So here we have my Focus 15, and out of this one, I actually haven't hit my usage goal on any of them, which is why I didn't start with this palette, because sometimes I start with the palette and tell you which ones I hit my usage goal on, but this time I have no usage goal on this one, and all the ones that I have hit my usage goal on are outside of this palette, mainly for my Panda palette. But let's talk through these shades. So in here we have Cleona Exothermic, that one I've used once. We have Cleona Star Cut, I've used 5 times. This one here I have a really big jump on, that is Gilding, also from Cleona. I have 20 uses on that one currently, so that one is getting quite close to the 25 uses. We then have 3 semi-grey shadows right here, all of them are yellow. You can see that I have a yellowy orange type of theme in here because we are in summer. I love these tones right now. But let's talk through the 3 shades right here. So this is Mango Tea. I've reached for this one 8 times. I'm actually wearing that one today. We do have the shade Lemon Cream. I reached for twice. Then we have Giza Layen here. I've reached for 16 times, and that one I'm also wearing today. So those are the 3 Sydney Grey shades I'm currently focusing on. Lastly, for that row, we have a Shine by SD shade. This is the shade Reserve number 7, and that one I've reached for 14 times. I'm also wearing that one today, which, yeah, gives me another use. But yeah, that is the first row. Moving on to the second row, we have another Shine by SD shade. This is the shade Stunner. I've reached for that one 4 times. We have Terramon Galactic Blossom. I reached for 12 times. And then we have this one here, which is Butterfly Nebula, which I actually haven't reached for at all. I rolled this one into my Focus palette last month, but I haven't used it. I kind of forgot about it. And same with these 2 here. I actually have really low usage on these 2 too. These are both from Divina. We have the shade Sweetie Sunbeam and Fairy Fire. I reached for those 2 1 time each. Then we have some shades here from the Pastel Roses. We have Nectarine, which I have reached for 9 times. And then Bombshell I reached for 4 times. Then lastly down here we have a Makeup Geek single in the shade Peach Smoothie, which I have reached for 9 times. So that is this palette here. Again, no usage goals hit in this palette. And I do want to switch this one up a little bit. I want to keep majority of them, but I'm going to switch a couple out, so let me do that quickly. So the first one I'm introducing, I had decided to introduce another Pastel Rose shade. I'm taking one out and I'm introducing a new one. And this here is the shade Very Peri. So it's actually a lavender type of periwinkle shade. I wanted to introduce something different again than the yellows that I have in here, just to get some few like new tones to work with. So this is going to be the first one. It's like, again, that kind of lavender periwinkle base with a gold shift running through it. So I'm currently sitting at 0 uses with that one, so not great, but I'm hoping to of course increase that by next update. I'm also introducing another Cleona shadow. This here is the shade Oriel, which is one of their electric multichromes. It's a really bright pink shade, as you can see there, and it has a gold shift to it, and that goes into, what kind of else does it have? I think it has gold to orange, and I think there's a little bit of like green at an angle. I don't know, I have to play with it to see, but it's a beautiful shade, and I wanted to bring this in because again, it's a brighter shade and I don't have any pinks in this palette at the moment, but I love wearing pinks in the summer, especially the ones that have a yellow shift to them. So I'm excited to play around with this one, and again, it's one of the brighter pinks that I have from Cleona. So the best time of year for me to wear those is of course in summer. Then the last 2 shades that I'm introducing are 2 shades that I worked on quite a lot earlier this year because they have been in a project before, but I have not hit my 25 user goal on them, but I'm quite close. Actually, I forgot to mention as well, with that Cleona shadow, I think I also have 0 uses, so definitely need to use that one. But these I do have a lot of use on, but again, I'm slightly off my 25 use goal on, and that is two shades that were in my Panda palette in order. So they're both from Colourpop. If you don't know, I'm working on Colourpop singles in that project to pan on them. But this here is the shade Ghostin, which I've used 15 times. It took me 14 uses to pan on it. And then I'm actually wearing this one today. So that's the 15th use. So I'm only 10 uses away from this one, and I want to focus on it. Hopefully I can hit that goal by the next update. It can reach for it 10 times in the next month. And that was actually the first shade I ever worked on in my Panda palette in order. But the other one is much more recent. It's actually the last one that I hit pan on, but I am very, very close to that 25 use goal on. Oh, well, not very, very close, but quite close, which is why I want to introduce it. And it's also bringing in some new tones into my color palette, which is one of the reasons why I want to introduce it again. And that is this blue right here. This is the shade Detour, which is originally from the Mar palette. Ghostin is originally from the Lilac You A Lot palette. But yeah, this one I am excited to work on again, mainly just because I'm so close on it to 25 uses. I am sitting at 18 uses currently, so I only have 7 more uses to go, and again, hopefully I can do that in the next month. I'm also kind of finding that I have a lot of shimmer shades which are hard to kind of work on, because I do have a lot of shimmer shades in my Panda palette in the BYOP, which I like reaching for when I want something really impactful for my shimmers. So I think introducing some new mattes are also clever in this project, just so I don't have only shimmers to work on in here. So those are the 4 shadows that I'm introducing to mix up my color palette from last month. Let me go ahead and show you what the palette looks like. This here is my new palette. Again, these 4 are the ones that are taken out, so these are no longer in. But hopefully you can see there that those new 4 shades, which are this here, these 2, and then that pink, really does give some new kind of life to this color story. And yeah, I think it's perfect for summer. These are some beautiful, beautiful shades for summer. And I'm hoping to be able to hit my goal on quite a few of these in the next month. The ones that I'm really close on are, of course, Gilding, like I talked about earlier. I also have, let me see, Giza Lane, which is this brighter kind of yellow. This one I am also very close on. Well, 16. I think anything above like 10 to 15 are, I would say, is quite high. So I'm close on that one too. And then we also have Reserve number 7. I'm on 14 uses there, so a little bit more to go, but it's a versatile shade that I can reach for a lot. I'm also very close on these 2 shades that I just rolled in. I'm sitting again on 15 on the more lilac-y shade and 18 on this blue shade. So those are like the main ones. I also have this here, which I'm sitting at 12 uses for. I'm on 9 for this shade here, as well as Nectarine right there. So I do have some high usage on some of these. So I'm gonna go and wrap up the video here. My little girl just woke up from her nap, so she's right here below. But I was luckily able to wrap up this project. So again, I'm gonna wrap it up here. But I hope you guys are having an amazing day wherever you are, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys!